I never thought Steve Wilson would be sitting here for 2 days covering a traffic case.
A guy who can't hear or talk fighting a suit for damages has to be an offbeat story. But I didn't know it was going to be this unusual.
Your Honor, witness says, yes, the light was red when he stepped out into the street.
Perhaps your friend didn't understand the question correctly, Mr. Fenton. Would you repeat it for him?
Why, yes, Your Honor. He says, yes, Your Honor, the light was red. He was in a hurry and he took a chance.
He's his own worst witness.
He certainly hasn't made his friend Max Fenton very happy.
Well, that's more than you can say for Patterson.
Why shouldn't he be pleased? You would, too, if one of your company's trucks had run the kid down.
In view of the testimony presented to this court, particularly the testimony of the plaintiff, I can see no evidence of negligence on the part of the truck driver. Case dismissed.
I don't get it. He threw his own case right down the kitchen sink.
Well, let's get it on the newsstands.
Jerry Aldridge lost his case. By his own testimony, the truck driver was cleared of negligence. But someone was guilty. You'll learn what happened in a moment.
Who will ever believe that those tender, sympathetic words came from the hard heart of Steve Wilson?
One thing's for sure, my sympathetic words aren't going to take care of that kid's hospital bills.
Well, it's still a real nice story.
There's only one thing that bothers me.
Grammar?
My grammar's impeccable.
Well, then what?
I'm not so sure I got the story right. It looked as though that boy was deliberately trying to lose his own case.
Certainly seems as if there might be something fishy.
And why did Patterson fight the case so hard? He knew his insurance would take care of it.
Yes, I see what you mean. What are you going to do about it?
Maybe I'm not putting that story to bed just yet, huh?
I always say play your hunches.
Want to come along?
Where to?
We'll start with the boy.
Yes?
Is this where Jerry Aldridge lives?
Yes, it is.
Well, my name is Lorelei Kilborn.
And I'm Steve Wilson. We're with the Illustrated Press.
Well, how do you do? I'm Mrs. Morris, Jerry's landlady. Won't you come in?
Thank you.
I'll go call Jerry.
Oh, Mrs. Morris, before you do, could I ask you a few questions?
Well, certainly.
Could you tell us something about his family and his friends?
Well, he hasn't any family, and as far as I know, he has only one friend.
Max Fenton?
Yes.
Did I hear somebody take my name in vain?
Oh, yes, I was just telling these people from the newspaper what good friends you and Jerry are.
I'm Steve Wilson, and this is Miss Kilburn. We wanted to talk to Jerry, but looks like we got here just in time to see him off.
Oh, no, these are mine.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yeah, Nebraska.
And poor Jerry's going to be real lonesome, believe me. These boys have been together for so many years, and it isn't many people that can talk to him. Well, you can't just write everything you want to say, and if you don't know that sign language...
I sure hate to leave Jerry now, but you know how things are.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Well, it's been kind of tough on me, getting jobs and such, and well, it's been pretty tough on Jerry, too.
Well, he's paying the bills?
Yeah. Now with doctor's bills and lawyer's fees and Jerry not being able to work, well, you can see how it is.
Well, isn't it going to be tougher on him being left alone?
Well, that's exactly why I'm leaving.
Max is going to a job with his uncle.
Yeah, good job, good prospects, and when I get myself squared away, then I'll be able to help Jerry.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, well, if you excuse me, I'll get them for you.
Come in, won't you? Please sit down. I still think it's a pity Jerry didn't take that money they offered him.
What money?
Well, right after the accident, when they offered to take care of his hospital bills and such.
That doesn't sound as if the Patterson Trucking Company thought they were in the right.
Not if they were willing to settle out of court.
Well, here we are. I've explained to Jerry who you are. Now, if you like, I'll give you a pad and pencil, or if you prefer, I'll translate for you.
Oh, thanks. That would be easier. Ask Jerry how he feels about the court decision.
Sure. He says exactly the way you'd expect him to feel.
But he must have thought he was going to win damages.
He wasn't sure.
Wasn't sure. Then why didn't he accept the settlement they offered him?
Settlement?
Oh, yes, I was just telling
Oh,
Mr.
I think I can explain that. I tried to talk him into taking it. You see, they'd pay the doctor's bills and the hospital fee, but he figured if they go that far, they'd go farther.
I wonder why they were willing to go that far.
Well, they probably tried to avoid the trouble of going to court.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, Laurie, you better run.
Oh, nice of you to come around.
Can we drop you at the plane or train?
Plane? Oh, you flatter my budget. It's a bus.
Okay, the bus depot.
No, thanks. I got somebody coming here to meet me.
Oh, Max, I forgot to tell you, your girl called again, said she'd be right over for you.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Morris.
Well, I'll see you to the door.
Bye.
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 Well, goodbye again.
Goodbye.
Bye. Well, it's good to know Jerry has at least one good friend.
He's got two. You're forgetting the newspaper.
You still think we have a story?
I'll know more after I talk to Patterson's insurance agents. Those babies just don't donate money.
I'd like to know why they offered to settle with Aldridge.
Let's find out, huh?
Already.
Boy, that was a close one.
What do you mean?
A couple of nosy reporters.
What would they want?
Asked a lot of questions. They didn't get anything out of me. Did you get the dough?
He'll have it this evening. What about them newspaper guys?
Oh, forget about them. They think I'm on my way to Nebraska. Come on, let's go.
Naturally, if there'd been proof of any negligence, our company would have paid off, but Mr. Patterson assured us that his driver was completely innocent of any blame in the accident.
Then why did your company offer to settle with the Aldridge boy out of court?
Our company made no such offer.
You mean your company didn't offer to pay the Aldridge boy's hospital and doctor bills?
Absolutely not. And it's a good thing for Mr. Patterson we didn't have to.
Why?
Because his trucking company has already proved itself to be a very bad insurance risk. And he's had fair warning. Another accident, and we cancel his policy.
So he's had other accidents.
So many, we're the last company that will cover him.
Tell me something, Mr. Woodson. What happens if a trucking company doesn't have insurance?
They can't operate. That's one of the laws of the Interstate Commerce Commission.
And if you'd paid off in this last accident, you would have canceled Patterson's insurance?
Definitely.
So he'd have been out of business?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Woodson.
Glad to be of help.
Looks like Patterson made that offer for settlement himself.
Of course, and now we know why. But how did he swing that court case?
Maybe if we were real nice, he'd tell us.
Hey, that's a good idea. Come in. Can I help you?
Mr. Patterson?
Yes. I'm Steve Wilson, Illustrated Press. This is Miss Kilburn. We'd like to ask you a few questions on the Aldridge case.
Sit down. I ain't got much time to spare, Mr. Wilson, but I'll be glad to give you any help I can.
Just a couple of questions.
There ain't much I can give you. You couldn't have got in court. It was an open and shut case.
You're sure you were going to win that easy decision?
Well, naturally. If a man's right, he's got nothing to worry about. We got laws to take care of that.
And you're sure you're in the right?
I went to court, didn't I? I proved it, didn't I?
But you went to Jerry Aldridge first.
What do you mean?
Didn't you offer to pay his hospital bills if he'd settle out of court?
I felt sorry for the kid, that's all.
It was just a sentimental gesture then?
That's all. What else?
Besides, the insurance company would have taken care of it.
That's right. Well, look, I gotta get back to my business now. If you want any more facts, you can get them from the court records. It's all in there.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, incidentally, it's a good thing you didn't have to draw on your insurance. I understand if you had, you'd be out of business now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you would. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I beg your pardon.
Well, likewise, I'm sure. Hey, I've got to watch where I'm going.
My fault entirely.
What was that?
I don't know. But Mr. Patterson's a nice, amiable guy with a big heart.
And a soft spot for his insurance company's pocketbook. Well, I guess that's what the Army would call a dry run.
Yeah. But maybe a look at that court transcript will give us some live ammunition. Let's go.
It's all there. You can count if you like.
Oh, I can trust you, Mr. Patterson. But just so's there's no mistakes.
Here's the transcript you wanted.
Thanks, Laurie.
What do you expect to find in there?
Patterson's folly. He said I could find anything I wanted in the court records. Who am I to doubt Mr. Patterson?
Yes, sir.
Ask Miss Wiley to come in, please.
Who's Miss
Okay.
Wiley?
She's a very pretty detonating cap for our ammunition.
Stop being so mysterious, will you? Who is she?
Oh. Come in, Miss Wiley. Sorry to keep you waiting.
That's quite all right.
Won't you sit down? Thank you. We had to wait for this transcript. Miss Wiley, this is Miss Kilburn.
Hello, Miss Wiley. It's evident already you're someone very special. Steve took his hat off for you.
As a matter of fact, Miss Wiley is something very special. She's an instructor at the School for the Deaf.
Oh, do you know Jerry Aldridge?
No, but I'm about to make his acquaintance.
Shall we go? Tell Jerry if my theory is correct, his luck is about to change.
What'd he say?
He says his luck had changed.
Meaning you.
Oh, he was just being complimentary to me.
I don't blame him.
It's enough out of you, Wilson.
Yes, ma'am. Ask Jerry why he turned down that offer for a settlement.
Well, he says there was no offer of a settlement made.
But there was. I heard the man with my own ears. I was standing right over there, and he was here, and I heard him.
I think I better talk to Max.
We'll need the address of that uncle in Nebraska. Ask him, Mary.
Laurie? Are you sure, Lieutenant? Did you try Omaha? Everywhere, huh? Well, thanks for trying, Lieutenant.
Phony address?
Nobody ever heard of Max's uncle.
Now what?
Come on, let's get back to Jerry.
Oh, Mr. Wilson, did you find out anything?
Yeah, that address was a phony.
Nobody ever heard of Max's uncle.
They checked thoroughly?
As thoroughly as the police can check.
At least Jerry isn't missing Max.
Are they getting along?
Just fine.
Hello, Mary, Jerry.
Hello, Laurie, Mr. Wilson.
Hi.
Jerry asks if you had any luck.
No, tell Jerry to think hard, Mary. Did Max ever mention any place he'd been or lived? We've got to have some place to start.
Oh, he can't think of anyone.
Well, ask him if he had any friends, anybody who would tie in with...
Steve, that girl that was waiting for him the first day we came here.
That's right! Mrs. Morse. The day he was leaving, she was going to pick him up.
Well, she did, his girlfriend.
Where does she live?
What's her name?
Well, I don't know. He never used to bring her here. He always met her places or she picked him up. Outside of his phoning her.
Well, the phone, do you know her number? Maybe he jotted it down someplace.
Do I know it? How could I forget it? He called her 20 times a day. Bradley 50496.
Bradley 50496. Police can trace that nothing flat. We'll be back.
Catch that, will you, honey?
Catch it yourself, you lazy crumb.
Lazy crumb. How do you like that? How do you like it? I get you enough dough to live like a queen. Now you gotta start acting like one?
Can't you see I'm reading?
Good.
Hello, Max. Looks like your bus driver took the wrong turn for Nebraska.
Well, I got delayed. I had a little business to finish up.
I'll say you did.
Hi. Oh, excuse the messy joint, will you? Max didn't say he was expecting nobody. Hey, ain't I met you someplace?
Well, we might have bumped into each other. Let's see, Riviera?
Where's that?
Paris?
Huh?
Or was it in Patterson's office?
She don't even know Patterson.
We think she does.
Who are you to come busting into people's apartments? Get out or I'll call a cop.
I thought you might want one, so I brought one along. Hey, Joe.
Just a minute. You can't come in here without no warrant, see? I know my rights.
We thought of that, too. Show her the warrant. You see, Max, we thought of everything. Now, you better start thinking.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, we know all about you and Patterson.
Don't talk to him, Max.
If he did, it would make things a lot easier for him later on.
Look, Max told you. We don't know no Patterson. We don't know nothing. And you can't prove nothing.
Laurie, how's your Brooklyn accent?
So you can't tell her from the Brooklyn side of the bridge yet?
Good, then neither will Patterson. Come on.
So what's the pitch?
You're fed up with the deal. You want more money. You've split up with Max, and if you don't get the money right away, you're going to call the police.
You can't use my phone.
Yeah, do your telephone someplace else.
And give you a chance to warn Patterson? Anyway, if what you say is true, what are you worried about? Patterson won't know what she's talking about anyway.
Mr. Patterson, this is Brenda Olson. Yeah, you remember, a friend of Max's. Look, I gotta talk to you about a new deal. I want more money. Me and Max busted up. $1,000 in small bills. I don't care how you get it. Look, you know where I live, and if you ain't here in 20 minutes, the next voice you hear will belong to the district attorney.
Okay, Max? If Patterson walks through that door, you're in trouble.
Hey, look, it's over a half hour now. Nobody's come.
Now get out of my apartment. All of you.
What's this all about?
Perjury with intent to defraud. There's a deaf mute who has a new trial coming to him.
Well, you haven't got a thing on me. I don't understand that deaf and dumb sign language. I don't know who said what.
Maybe you better tell it to the judge.
And maybe you better get into some clothes, honey.
He says that wasn't his answer. He had a green light at the crossing.
Now let him read the rest of the questions and answers.
He says these weren't his answers at all. Max Fenton translated rather loosely. When Patterson made an offer for settlement, Max didn't convey the offer to Jerry. He can't understand why his words were twisted so.
Thank you, Miss Wiley. Witness dismissed. Call the officer who was present at the accident.
Trial's certainly going differently this time.
This time they're getting the truth.
Thank you very much, officer. No further questions, Your Honor.
Witness dismissed. It is very clear that a grave miscarriage of justice has been prevented. The court reverses decision in favor of the plaintiff and directs that damages claimed shall be paid. As for the defendant, Patterson, and Max Fenton, I direct the bailiff of this court to arrest them for conspiracy to defraud. Court recess for a half hour.
Looks like Jerry's won 2 important decisions.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi. Wonder how Mary and Jerry are doing.
Oh, I talked to Mrs. Morris on the phone. She said they're still holding hands.
Nice couple, huh?
Yeah. It's a lucky thing she walked into Jerry's life. You know something, Laurie? There's a lot of ways to say I love you.
Keep talking, Wilson.
Yeah? Huh? Methinks I've talked too much.
My Romeo.